Good morning to you all, class. From our previous lecture, we talked about the introduction to computers, and basically we were looking at the software and the hardware components. Now we want to look at the practical aspect of computer essentials. So from our first practical, the objective is to, by the end of the lecture, we should be able to log off a computer, log in to a different user account. We should be able to restart a computer and also shut down a computer. So how do we log off a computer? So according to our notes, we are saying you need to click the start button, and if I'm using my computer, this is the start button. As I click on it, or as I put the icon on the start button, you can see that it's now writing start here. So if I click on the start button, and if I click on that icon, you'll see that it can give me some options to sign out, to lock, or to change the account setting. So this is how I sign out or I log off the computer. So looking at our notes, you click the start button. By the way, our notes are using Windows 10 and my computer is using Windows 11. So it depends with the operating system that you are using, but the basics normally are just the same. So you click the profile icon, just like what I did, and then of course you sign out. To restart a computer, you click the start button again. But this time, instead of clicking that icon, you need to click the power icon. So I'm going to do the same again. This is the start button. From my left, this is the icon that will allow me to log off or to sign out. And from my right, this is the power icon. So if I want to restart, I will then now click the last icon, which is saying update and restart, or normally it must be just restart, and you click the restart and you restart your computer. So this is how you restart your computer. The other thing is shutting down a computer. If you want to shut down the computer, again you click the start button, you click the power icon, and then you click shut down. So remember, it is the start button for us to shut down the computer, and then you click this one, that is the shut down icon, and of course you shut down your computer. So these are the basics of computer essentials. Class, after completing the first practical, try to attempt the questions below, like how do you log off the computer, how do you restart, just to practice the questions, because the questions that are asked in the review exercise are the same questions that are normally asked in the exam. So make sure you do the questions as well. I'm going to move on to lecture number 2. Still on computer essentials, the practical part. This time we want to look at the file management. So again, you are going to, by the end of the lecture, you learn how to, or in this lecture, you are going to learn how to understand, or number 1, understand the function of the desktop, the taskbar, and the operating system's file management application. Remember, when we learned about the software part, we talked about the operating systems, but now we want to learn more about how do we do the file management applications. Then we understand how drives, folders, and files are organized, and you also navigate between the drives, folders, and subfolders, as well as files. You also need to display files and folders in different view modes and identify common icons and file types. And lastly, you should be able to search for files and folders. Now, we want to look at the taskbar. So that bottom part of your computer is called a taskbar. According to my machine, this is the taskbar where I find the start button, that I find all my browsers, all my applications there. This is called the taskbar. But the taskbar is divided into 3 main sections. At the far left, we have got the start button. in whether you are using Windows 10 or 11, you always find the start button on the taskbar at the far left. And you also find the browsers again following the start buttons, and all the other applications are also at the middle section. Then you also find the notification area at the far right. So this is the structure of a taskbar. And we are saying, where do we find the taskbar? We find it at the bottom part of our computer, and it is a horizontal bar. So this is about the taskbar. Now, if you want to search again, we've got this taskbar search box, where you just click the search box and you search for whatever file you want, or whatever you want to search inside your computer. You make use of the taskbar search button or search box. Now we've got, as we open our file, remember we want to look at the file management aspect. As we open the File Explorer, if I go to my taskbar, this is my File Explorer. If I open here, I will find the File Explorer, and this is an example of a File Explorer. You'll also find what we call a quick access toolbar at the far left top part of the page. This is called a quick access toolbar. So going back to our notes, you can see that this is the quick access toolbar, and here it's written file, home, everything. And if you want to pin, this is now according to Windows 10. If you want to pin your quick access toolbar, you can do that. If you want to create a new whatever new folder, new database, new PowerPoint presentation, new Word document, if you just want to create a new Word document, you just go on your just below the quick access toolbar and click on new, and you just do you then find whatever you want to create, be it a new PowerPoint presentation, a new Access database, a new Word document, or a new folder. So that is where you find that. So going back to our notes, you are going to see that we've got different parts of the Navigation File Explorer. We've got the address bar, we've got the search box, we've got the details pane, and we've got the file and folder list. So whatever we find inside this is called a ribbon, and this is where we put whatever we want to search for. That is the search box. And the address bar is indicated here, where we are saying this PC, and this is the documents with contents, and whatever we want to find inside the documents, normally it will be written just on the address bar. Then the navigation pane, you find it here, and we've got the back, forward, and up arrows like that. So the whole thing is called a File Explorer window, where we are saying if we want to explore our files, we make use of the File Explorer window. So if I go back to my file, you can see that I've got documents, and particularly I'm opening the ICDO Notes 2023, and this is the search box again, just like what we saw from the notes. So if I'm to minimize my screen, you can also see that I have 6 items displayed like this. So this is the File Explorer window. You also see that on my details pane, I had 6 items, and according to this, we've got 15 items like that. So let's move on. Sometimes there's also need to pin some important files, probably you always work with those folders every day, you need to pin them. So these are the steps you need to follow if you want to pin your files to the taskbar. So you can do that, you can follow the steps like that. Now we want to move on to the common icons and file types. So for the files, normally we've got the Windows, we've got the Excel, we've got the PowerPoint, we've got the Word. Sorry, we've got the Word, the Excel, the PowerPoint. These are representing the files. And normally the icons for folders, we can have different folders. So that yellow thing will always represent a folder. Then we've got applications. We can have database applications. We can have PowerPoint applications. So we can have various applications. So basically on applications, we can have them grouped as office applications like that. Then we've got drives. Then we've got shortcuts. Then we've got icons for printers. Then we've got icons for recycle bin. So these are the different icons that we just need to familiarize with. We need to know that if I see this, it's representing a shortcut, that arrow like that. So that blue arrow will always tell you that it's a shortcut. And if you see these images or these icons, it represents printers. And if you see this container, it is always representing a recycle bin. And if you see that be it a memory representing a memory card, a local disk, or a disk drive, a DV drive, these are drives, these are icons for drives. And if you see any office application, be it in a database, an Excel, Word, or a PowerPoint, is representing an application. And again, if you see now for the applications, you can see that there's a difference between the applications and the files. So for the Office package, this is actually written Access 2016, Excel 2016, PowerPoint 2016, and Word 2016. In other words, I can quickly pick that this is an Office 2016 by merely looking at the application. But if you look at the files, now these are named files. We're named Word documents. For example, that Word document is a health and safety statement document, the Q3 sales Excel sheet. We've got the PowerPoint presentation about the spring conference, and we go on like that to the strategic planning document. Then for the folders, these are named folders again. We've got the sales, we've got the scanned documents and that. But this is, we need to know we need to familiarize with these icons is ICDL students. Or now we move on to the extension. Sometimes in Windows, each time a file is represented by a small icon. We also need, it has two parts, the name and the extension. So once you save your document as for example the one that is written health and safety statement, it will then say docx to represent that it is a document, xlsx is Excel sheet, pptx is PowerPoint presentation, .pdf, it will just show that it's a PDF. For the image, we've got quite a number of extensions. We can have the .gif, we've got the JPEG, we've got the BMP. These are examples of the extensions. Then for the audio, of course, we've got the MP3. For the video, we've got the .avi, and for the zipped folder, we've got the .zip. For the executable files, we've got the .exe, like that. So these are the files. Then how do we organize files and folders? That is the next thing that we want to look at. To organize the file and folders, you create the folders. You can also, in this section, we want to look at how to create folders, how to recognize good practice in naming files and folders, how to rename files and folders, how to copy, move files and folders, and also delete and restore files and folders, as well as sort the files. So to create a folder, you navigate to where the folder is created, for example, in the File Explorer or on the desktop. Right click a blank area, and then you click New, and then you select a folder. So let's do that. I want to use my desktop this time, so I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to select New, and then I'll click Create a folder like this. So my folder is written New Folder. So if I want to rename my folder, I'll then click on the folder. I'll right click on the folder, and then I'll rename it to, probably I want to say ICDL Notes. So now I've got a new folder called ICDL Notes on my desktop. The next thing that we want to look at again is, we've created a folder. How do we copy and move files and folders? Now, to copy or move files and folders using the copy or cut function, you right click on the file or folder you wish to copy or move, then click copy to the other folder, or click cut to move to the file. So if you want to copy, you just click copy, and if you want to cut, if you want to move the file, you click cut, and of course at the end you click paste, so that you copy it to the exact file. So this is how you do it. Let's try to do it on my desktop again. Suppose I want to take this folder. Let me just take this folder. As you can see, I've got quite a number of applications here. Okay, I want to take one of the C programming lectures, and I want to move the file into the folder called ICDL Notes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click this, and I'm going to, what do I want to do? I want to copy it, so I'm going to copy, and then I will go to the folder, and I will also paste that. So this is how I do it. So as you can see, if I open my ICDL Notes this time, I will find the another file inside called the C programming statements inside my folder. So this is how we do it. And of course, if you want to cut it, I'll open again. I will have to click here, and then I use the cut option. The cut option will then remove this file from where it is to the other folder. So from the folder called CPRO, I'm moving this file to another folder. So after cutting, of course, I will go here and I will say I will paste again. So if I paste, I will expect to find two things here: the tutorial and the conditional statements, and that is how we do it. Now, of course, the last thing that we want to look at according to lecture number 2 is how do we delete files. To delete file, you select the file, and then you select the items to delete, and you press the delete key. Let me try to do it on my computer. I'm not going to delete anything, but I'll just show you the steps. You can just click according to Windows 11. You can click, and then you just make use of that bin, which we said this is called a recycle bin, or you can go to straight away to delete, and you click delete, and if you click delete, your documents or your document or your file will be deleted. So this is how you delete your file according to lecture number 2. So the last thing that we want to look at, the lecture number 3, which is going to talk about the storage. So lecture number 3 is very short. You are going to identify the main types of storage media, which we did probably in the first lecture. Identify the file and the folder size and storage capacity measurements, display file, folder, and drive properties. So this is how you do it. Remember, on storage media, we talk about the internal hard drive, we talk about the external hard drive. we talk about the USB flash and the memory card, or we can talk about the cloud file storage. So we want to look at the storage capacity. Remember, people always talk about the KBs, the MBs, the GBs, the TBs, the PBs, but what is it exactly? What is the size? So we are saying a kilobyte is 1024 bytes. Then the megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. It means that we need to add 3 zeros to the kilobyte. The gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. It means again we need to add 3 zeros on top of the megabyte. So we go on like that. The terabyte is 1024 gigabytes, and the petabyte is 1000 terabytes, sorry. So how do we display the folder, the file or folder or drive property? So in the File Explorer, you right click the file, folder or drive, and you click properties. And then if you select properties, you then find the properties, how big is your file and everything. So let's just try and do that. You select the file and you go to properties, and if you go to properties, you are going to see that the size is 947 KBs, and it's giving me the number of bytes. The size on disk is that. So this is how you view the properties of your file or of your folder. So going back again, so this is how we do it. It's actually showing us what we've just done. So class, these are the basics of computer essentials. So before we look at the Word document, before we look at PowerPoint presentation, it is very important to master the basics of computers. That is why we always start with computer essentials. So I hope you've mastered everything that I've said. I hope to see you in the next lecture, where we are also going to be looking at online essentials. Thank you.